career night, yards, completion percentage, broken records for school record for completion. What does it all mean to you, and how do you feel after this night?
Yeah, just got to give a shout out to the 10 other players with me on the field. Just in general, with them making the spectacular catches, the front five giving me time in the pocket, the running backs, opening the run game. So, I mean, overall, I couldn't do it without them. It feels great to have that. It's a true blessing for sure. But without my teammates, I wouldn't have gotten done.
How much of this was just like rhythm related? I think you had 3 different stretches where you had 5 or more completions, 12 in a row at one point. Did you just feel like you found kind of a rhythm early and it continued?
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys are a part of this weather every day as well. It's been actually a clear day for us, and of course, Bryce loves the rain. Bryce Betcher, I hate the rain, but it's just it was a great day. It was sunny. It was sunny outside. I knew it was going to be a great day for us as an offensive unit. The run game, of course, was still there, but it was time for us to open the pass game. It hasn't been there these past couple of weeks, but at the end of the day, I love it. We don't have to throw the ball. We don't have to run the ball. I mean, whatever you got to do to get the win is what's most important. So it was great to be out there with the boys and make sure that we got the job done.
Dante, how has this offense been able to adapt as much as it's had to, particularly the last few weeks, whether it was weather or injury? But being as shorthanded as you guys are, you just hung the number you did in what I think is the first game under Dan that you guys ran a majority not in 11 personnel. So how is it that the offense is that adaptable, and what role do you have in making it that way?
Yeah, we just got to give kudos to our coaching staff. I mean, Coach Lannon and Coach Stein, and they always come up with great game plans. But it's always been next up mentality for people that have gotten hurt. On this team, Oregon's always has depth of players, so it's always next up mentality. And then, we just got to find different ways to get the guys get the ball in space. Kennan's back. I know that everybody felt that. Felt his the difference of him being on the field with us. I mean, just overall, we can do a lot of personnel sets, but Coach Stein's always finding ways to make sure we're pushing the ball vertical. And today was a great day, and we got to find ways to put points on the board.
You mentioned this a little bit before, but can you talk a little bit more about maybe how important it was for you guys to get the pass game going, to get that rhythm back, even though you're missing some targets because last 2 weeks with the rain, the nose, everything. How important was that?
Yeah, it's always great to have a great run game, but when it's time to throw the ball and you are on fire as offense, it's pretty nice. Just in general with all the playmakers we have, everybody's going to know to find space on the field to get the ball in their hands. I mean, a lot of these guys are young. J-Mac especially. I mean, J-Mac is a guy that has been to Dallas with me. He's trained with me during spring ball, fall camp. That's a guy I trust to death. So whenever we have a play for him, when his number's called, he's always going to make a play. But it's always been other guys that stepping up, especially Roger today. He did a great job. I missed him in the back of the end zone. I couldn't see over whoever the guy was in front of me. But it's just always people, finding the space, and it kind of comes from repetition at practice. So we had a great rhythm this whole week, so it came out and showed on the field.
Earlier this week that you'd sit in 21 personnel all day if you could, and on a game like this where you guys are short at receiver and have to do a lot of 12 and 21, how do you think that just going to those heavier personnel sets gives you an advantage in the passing game especially?
Yeah, a lot of teams think when you go heavy sets, a lot of runs and things of that. But I mean, we have great running backs, we have great tight ends. We can go 14 personnel. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're always going to find a way to move the ball. So it's kind of just a schematic thing, and we're doing a great job every week, just tweaking a couple of things. But yeah, it just comes from the hard work of just being in 21 sets and the running backs learning different positions of how to run different routes. So kind of just comes from repetition, and we're doing great.
I was playing with the visor.
It was a little different. I've been practicing all week with it. Of course, Iowa game, it was raining, so I couldn't wear it. But yeah, today it's like your vision's a little bit different. A lot of times I was thinking, like, example, Kenny, and I thought he was closer to me than what he thought it was, so I overthrew him a little bit. But it just messed up with this vision just a little bit. But I've been wearing it all week at practice. I've been getting more comfortable with it. The guys love it. The teammates love it. So it feels great to be out there on the field protecting my nose.
You just mentioned, kind of missing just a little bit on Kenyon, but he laid out and made that catch and then goes down on one knee and makes another one-arm catch later in the game. What's it like just having him back and just seeing the effort that he gives to make those plays?
Yeah, of course, as a quarterback, you want to make the pass as easy as possible for your receivers and tight ends, but sometimes they got to save the day for you too. Kenyon always does a great job making sure he's always going to get the ball in the air. Another example was the back corner end zone he scored. J-Mac's toe touch, I've never seen like that crazy before, but it's just in general. I mean, these guys do a great job going to get the ball and when the ball's in the air. Of course, I want to make it easiest for them to get the ball and then stay a playmaker with the ball in their hands. But yeah, I mean, Kenyon, I love him to death. He's always going to make a play for me, and we're always going to smile about it on the sideline.
Dante, I was going to ask you about that J-Mac touchdown. How difficult, put it in perspective for fans, how difficult it is to get that toe down like he did, and how confident were you that it was going to be a touchdown still?
Yeah, it was a concept that we loved this week. I kind of was telling the receivers and the team, like, this is going to be a scoring play this game. I kind of just spoke it into existence. And, of course, it was a defensive look that I loved. I know when J-Mac's out there, we've been working the back shoulder all week. He's, one of the most confident receivers with it. So, kind of got to use it as our advantage. And seeing the DB turn, I knew I had J-Mac on the back shoulder. But, yeah, I mean, I just still can't explain how he got his foot down. I mean, that's just insane, especially like Orkenion's play. I thought he scored. I didn't know they counted him down. But, I mean, J-Mac made a great catch, and he always does it at practice. So I was a little surprised there. But at practice, he makes crazier catches too.
Last question, Matt, whether it's the injuries the last couple of weeks or the weather impacting things, and then to play the way you guys did today offensively, what does it just say about the depth, the explosiveness that you guys have, that the offense can still be as elite as it was today without the guys that normally are out there?
Yeah, like I've been saying, it's just next man mentality. Of course, you want everybody to be healthy, but that's just how football seasons work. When you start towards the end, there's a little fatigue hits in, injuries start to come in. But we have the best trainers in the country and the world, and we're going to make sure we get everybody back. But at the end of the day, if someone's down, say example, Kenyon last week was down, we had to find another tight end to come in, and we're always going to find a way to get the job done. Of course, it's going to be a little different, but I think the biggest piece is when a new player comes in, you just got to communicate with them and give them confidence. Of course, practice, you can throw the ball and make crazy catches, but when a teammate goes to another teammate and tells them how much they love them and how much they are confident with them, especially at the quarterback position, it makes them play better. And fight just in general, there's been a lot of people that stepped up. Janoris Wilson last week, Roger this week. It's just been a lot of players that stepping up, and Coach Lane is doing a great job making sure we're pushing each other.